You're the one they call when something falls apart at work, in the family, in the friends group. You are the one who steps in and organizes and manages and holds the space. You've been doing it so long that people don't even ask anymore. They just assume that you'll handle it like you always do. And here's the part nobody wants to talk about. You're tired. Not the kind of tired that sleep fixes. It's the kind of tired that lives deep in your bones and makes you wonder somewhere around 3 a.m, what would happen if you just stopped? If you're a woman over 50 who has spent her life being the strong one, the capable one, the one who never falls apart, and you're starting to wonder what it would feel like to set some of that down, this episode is for you. Because overfunctioning is not a strength. It is a survival pattern. And tonight, we're going to look at it honestly. Welcome to the return. Tonight, you're not the mother, you're not the spouse, you're not the woman who holds it all together. You're just you. Let's take a deep breath. In through the nose and out through your mouth. Good. Tonight, we're starting our second pattern series. If you listened to episode 5 and 6, you heard us exploring people pleasing. The patterns of saying yes when you really mean no. And tonight's pattern is its close cousin. And many women carry both. Overfunctioning, the pattern of holding everything together and losing yourself inside the holding. Overfunctioning looks different from people pleasing, but it grows from the same soil. Where people pleasers ask, "What do you need?" the overfunctioner asks, "What needs to be done?" She doesn't wait for someone to request help. She sees the gap in the plan and in the family, in the organization, and she fills it automatically before anyone else even notices it was there. And the world rewards her for it profoundly. She is promoted, she is trusted, she is the first person named when anything important needs to happen. At home, she is the axis around which the entire household turns. The schedules, the meals, the emotional temperature, the decisions, large and small. She is indispensable, and that word, indispensable, is both her crown and her cage. Because here's the truth beneath the pattern. For many women over 50, overfunctioning started as a way to feel safe in a world that felt unpredictable. If I can control enough, organize enough, anticipate enough, nothing bad will happen. If I hold it all together, everything will be okay. It's a child's logic, made sophisticated by decades of practice, and it works until it doesn't. This pattern often begins in childhood in homes where things felt uncertain. Maybe there was conflict or addiction, or the parent who was emotionally absent. Maybe the home looked perfectly fine from the outside, but inside, no one was really steering the ship. And so the girl stepped in. She became the steady one, the responsible one, the one who made sure homework was done and lunches were packed and the emotional temperature in the house stayed manageable. She didn't choose this role, it chose her. And she was so good at it, it became her identity. The capable one, the strong one, the one who never needs help because she is too busy being the help. Does that sound familiar? By the time she's 20, her patterns are running in the background like an operating system she didn't install. By 30, she's managing a career, a household, and everyone's feelings with a precision that looks effortless. And by 40, she can't imagine functioning any other way. And she's beginning to forget there was ever another way. And by 50, she is bone tired. Not the kind of tired you can explain by pointing to a busy week. The kind of tired that has accumulated over decades. The kind that lives underneath everything she does. Quiet and constant, like a hum she's learned to ignore. From the outside, her life looks like she has it all together. She may have the career, the home, the relationships, the reputation, and she cannot figure out why, with all of that, she feels so empty. That emptiness is not ingratitude. That emptiness is the sound of a woman who has been so busy holding everything else in life together that her own life has gone unattended. And something within her, something deep and wise and patient, is finally asking to be heard. If you are that woman tonight, the one who's been listening to this and thinking, I have everything I worked for and I have never felt so lost, I want you to know you are not failing. You are waking up. And that is an entirely different thing. That is the cruelest irony of overfunctioning. The better you are at it, the less anyone sees the cost. Here's something I want to name that makes this pattern different from people pleasing. Though many women carry both, people pleasing is about keeping other people comfortable. Overfunctioning is about keeping yourself safe through control. They're cousins, but they live in different rooms of the house. The overfunctioner has built her entire identity on competence. She is the woman who gets things done and who never drops a ball. She is the woman people turn to when everything falls apart because she never falls apart. And that identity, the strong one, the reliable one, the one who never needs help, becomes a trap because it leaves no room for the part of her that is tired. No room for the parts that want to be held. No room for the woman underneath the performance who might, if given permission, admit that she is not fine, that she has not been fine in a very long time. This is why overfunctioning is so difficult to address for women over 50. It's not just a behavior you can stop. It's woven into who you believe you are. To set it down feels like losing yourself, and the truth, the beautiful, terrifying truth, is that you are losing yourself, but not the self that matters. You are losing the performance. And what remains underneath is more real than anything you've ever shown the world. Let me walk you through this pattern's cost in all four bodies, because overfunctioning doesn't just exhaust you, it fragments you. In the physical body, the toll is most visible. Chronic tension, often the jaw, the shoulders, lower back, sleep disruption, autoimmune flares, digestive issues. The body holds what the mind refuses to acknowledge. that you are carrying too much and you have been carrying it for too long. In the emotional body, overfunctioning creates a peculiar emptiness. You feel everything around you, every need, every problem, every gap, but you feel very little about yourself. Emotions become something you manage in others, but really sit within your own heart. And sometimes, unexpectedly, a wave of grief or anger will wash over you, and you won't know where it came from. It came from here, from the emotional body that's been waiting in line behind everyone else's needs. In the mental body, the pattern shows up as hypervigilance. The mind is always on, always scanning, always running the next scenario. It's why you can't relax on vacation. It's why a quiet Sunday afternoon feels like something's wrong. Your mental body has forgotten that it's allowed to rest. And in the spiritual body, the part of you that connects to meaning, to purpose, and to something larger than the daily grind, overfunctioning creates a deep, aching silence. You're so busy managing the tangible world that the intangible one, the world of your own deeper truth, gets pushed to the margins. Your spiritual intelligence is still there, but you can barely hear it over the noise of everything you're managing. Here is the thing I think is the hardest to admit, and I say this as a woman who has lived this pattern herself. Overfunctioning is not just about taking care of things. It's about control. And control, underneath everything, is about fear. The fear that if we let go, everything will fall apart. The fear that we are only valuable when we are useful. The fear that if we stop holding it all together, no one will hold us. That last one, the fear that no one will hold us, that's the root truth for many women who carry this pattern. And it's not a weakness, it is a wound. One that developed when we were too young to know what was happening and too resourceful to let it stop us. We built an entire life on the premise that we have to do it ourselves. And so we're so good at it that no one, not our partners, not our children, not our closest friends, have ever thought to question it. I want to name something that often goes unspoken because the overfunctioning woman rarely speaks it herself. It's what I call the invisible labor. The work that has no job title, no recognition, and no end. It's knowing when the oil needs to be changed, when the prescriptions need to be refilled, when the friend is quietly struggling, when the tone of a family text chain has shifted and someone needs to smooth it over. It's the mental load of holding the entire architect of daily life in your head. Every appointment, every deadline, every birthday, every bill, and making it look effortless. Studies call this cognitive labor. I call it invisible holding that nobody thanks you for because nobody sees it. And here is what makes it a survival pattern rather than simply hard work. The overfunctioning woman cannot stop doing it, even when she's exhausted, even when she resents it, even when she knows logically the other people could pick up some of the weight. She cannot stop because stopping feels like failing. and failing to a woman whose worth has been built on her competence feels like disappearing. This is why burnout hits women over 50 so hard. It's not just the physical exhaustion from doing too much. It's exhaustion from a lifetime of equating her doing with her being. When the doing becomes too much to sustain, the question that arises is terrifying. If I stop producing, if I stop managing, if I stop being the one everyone needs, then who am I? And that question, who am I without the holding, is not a crisis. It is an invitation. It is the beginning of the return. Until now, until this moment right here, where you're beginning to wonder, what would it feel like to let something go? Tonight's seed is this. Think of one thing you're carrying right now that is not actually yours to carry. One responsibility or one worry, one task that you picked up maybe years ago that belongs to someone else or belongs to no one at all. You don't have to set it down tonight. You just have to see it and name it quietly in your own mind, and that's enough. And if you want to take a step further, ask yourself the first of the 5 whys. Why do I carry this? Just the first why, not all 5, just the one. Let the question sit with you as you fall asleep tonight. Your deeper self knows the answer, even if your conscious mind doesn't have it yet. And next week, in part 2, we'll talk about the practice of letting go. How to release what isn't yours without the terror of losing who you are. To the woman who holds it all together, I see you. I see the weight you carry. I see the way you never let them see you tired. Never let them see you struggle. Never ask for what you need because you're too busy making sure everyone else has what they need. I want you to know you are allowed to set something down. Maybe not everything, maybe not all at once, just one thing. And the world will not fall apart. I promise you, it will not fall apart. Rest well tonight. I'll see you in the next episode.